Hi, I'm Fixes, and this is Hearts of Iron 4 by Blood Alone, where we're playing the German Reich with expert AI. Last episode we did finally manage to consolidate our positions in Western Europe after a lot of very hard fighting, and we are now down to... we've got some stragglers here, some exile divisions that are popping through that we need to fix, and we've still got the Maginot line and Metz that we need to clean up, of course. I have taken the liberty of redistributing our air force a little bit, try to get them further down here. We can probably take these light bombers as well and fly them out to Brittany. And we'll see if we can find some use for them. At the moment though, our biggest problem at the moment is that we are short of manpower. We are short about 43,000 manpower for our armies in the field. And on top of that, we also are missing 20,000 manpower for our garrisons. This is an urgent need to fix, of course. We do have 72 political power. We could wait 70 days and swap up to service by requirement, which would cost us quite a lot of construction speed, and especially factory output would be very harsh for us. So that is not the preferable option for us. Rather, we want to go into our deployment and we're going to make some changes to our divisions instead. So we have our garrison divisions. We currently have 6 infantry battalions. So let's remove 2 of those, and we will replace put some artillery in instead. This does make them, especially organization goes down and defense goes down. They will be entrenched, so this should be fine, and we're soon finishing off the engineering trait that will give them 5 extra entrenchment, which should at least a little bit make up for this shortfall in defense. It does, however, increase our soft attack and reduce our manpower need by 1,500 per division. Now this equates out to about 120,000 manpower. Also helps us a little bit with our infantry equipment shortage. Don't really have enough artillery for it, but we will be getting artillery. They are lowest down on the priority anyway, so it'll filter through. We could remove the support artillery, of course, too. That might actually be something that's worth doing. It does cost a lot of power though, and it does decrease quite a lot of stats. I think for now we'll leave it like this. We have this one as an option to gain some extra manpower back later on if needed as well. So these should be able to defend adequately as well. They will be able to deorg the enemies faster that are attacking them. At least that's the theory behind it. It brings their combat width down a little bit as well. But let's save this one, and all of a sudden our manpower problems are fixed. However, we're not going to stop just there. We are also going to make some changes to our motorized divisions, because if we look here, we have a deficit of trucks. Our motorized divisions here that we are building require trucks. And if we look here at the logistics tab, we can see that we are short 1,000 or 2,800 trucks. No, actually 2,900 trucks. So we are gonna put our motorized divisions a little bit on the thinning side. We're gonna add some, we're probably gonna replace this with self-propelled guns and anti-tank, self-propelled anti-tank tank destroyers later on. Maybe even motorized or armored anti-air to beef them up a little bit. But for now, this is what we have. This does reduce their defense, which kind of sucks. But they should be able to hold on well enough. And the same thing here, this saves us 54,000 manpower and 1,500 trucks. That should at least cover all of our reinforcements. And then we've also got the armor divisions that we want to make some changes to. So this will be the Panzer Division 41. We've been talking about making this upgrade for a while. So what we'll start with is replacing these light tank battalions with mechanized infantry. And we will replace this motorized or remove this motorized artillery. I know we're going to replace it with motorized anti-tank, I think. Just to help bring our piercing up a little bit. Actually, quite a lot. This does reduce armor a little bit. It does reduce breakthrough by quite a lot and soft attack by quite a lot. But overall, I think it does reduce combat width by... No, I haven't reduced combat... Yeah, it reduced combat width by 2 at least. Because this one's 1. And from the artillery that it replaced was 3. But this should make it a little bit more even for now. Question is, do we want to remove this one as well? Truth be told, we need to check over here. Hardness is 52%, so it's up from 50 by adding these. And if we remove this one, we'll be up to 56%. That'll kind of help mitigate the loss of breakthrough to lose even more soft attack on that. The main reason we are doing this to our armor divisions is to increase the HP. We are now starting to replace with Panzer IVs, and they are more expensive, and the following, as soon as we start making changes to the new Panzers, they will of course be even more expensive. That means we don't want to be losing equipment, so we need to have a high HP so that the damage is spread out across more of the units. There's less chance for equipment breakdown. This does cost us a little bit of extra manpower, but we've just freed up quite a lot there, and it's only 2,000 manpower across all of the divisions. So I think this is fine. We also use a little bit less trucks, and we free up those light tanks for other duties. We will get into those other duties in a little bit. This episode will be a lot of designing. We actually need to still be in here, or rather head over here. We're going to stick with our tanks. We're going to be fixing some of these up. I think we are still short a little bit of these bisons, but I think we probably want to add another factory. We want to add another factory there. We probably want to pull these down so that they are among the other tanks. I'll put them right at the bottom. We're going to be replacing the armament here with a howitzer. Now these are very fast. We will keep them very fast. Actually, we could probably reduce it by 2. Or we can add some, maybe add some fuel to them. That'll help with the fuel capacity of the divisions. Of course, this one needs to be named Bison B, and we will save that. Here's the little bit of experience there. We want to, of course, put this into production. Now, these do cost a lot, especially now that we've added tungsten to them. But I think that's a worthwhile upgrade. It does increase their power quite a lot. We also want to make some changes to our other tanks. So let's start off with the Panzer IVs. We want to replace this close support gun with a medium cannon. This does reduce soft attack by a little bit, but it will increase our piercing and hard attack and breakthrough. And this will help with the changes that we've made in the divisions, so that we regain a little bit of that breakthrough. We'll also max out the armor. Speed drops. We need to bump that up by 1 as well. And that is all we do for now. And this is the Panzer IV G. We will save that one. So we want to make 2 variants here as well. So from the Panzer III, we want to replace this with a fixed light superstructure. We also want to get a medium cannon in on this one to increase the piercing. This, of course, is going to be a tank destroyer, so the Stug 3. Let's add an A there for clarity. These actually have better soft attack than the tanks that we are building them from. And this, more importantly, frees up a little bit of reliability. I like to keep this one at 80% or higher. We need to boost up the max speed a little bit there as well. Reduce the supply use as well. So we're going to be replacing our anti-tank in the motorized, and actually this one's only for the armor division. Since we're going 8, we're going to make one from the Panzer II for the motorized divisions. But this is the Stug 3A, and this is going to be a good asset to have a little bit later on. And then we also need to go in here on the Panzer IIs and have the same treatment here. So this is we'll also go with the medium cannon here. Actually, with this one we might want to go with the basic high velocity cannon. How much more piercing do we get from that one? If we swap it over to tank destroyer first. So we have 72 piercing with the medium gun. And if we go with the basic high velocity one, we get 81. And this will be only for our motorized divisions. I'm not sure if that is actually worth it. I think the extra soft attack... Oh. Let's put that in. We're better off overbuilding. Probably don't need as an expensive radio on this. We probably should do the same thing on the Stug, just have a basic radio. And we're gonna need to bump the speed up on this one. Actually, we're gonna need to bump the armor down a little bit, just so that we reach this 12 that the motorized divisions are actually traveling at. We need a new picture for this one as well. Don't know if we have a Marder in here anywhere. Don't think so. Let's just choose something with a long barrel then, with a low profile. That might actually be a Marder. So we will save this one as well. This is the Marder 2. Marder 3 was based on the Czech tanks, the T38 or 38T. And it should be this one as well, I think. But nevertheless, I think this will be a good addition to the motorized units. We will save that one as well. Let's just pop into the Stugs here, and we still want to have a radio. And we will just save that one. And the Panzer IIIs we won't change anything with. They more or less hit the reliability roof here. And it's not worth taking the production efficiency hit to try to bump that up by 1. And that means we need to bump the engine up either way and will drop below. So the Panzer IIIs, we'll leave them for now. We want to replace the gun on them a little bit later maybe, but not at the moment. Okay, we are in add a new menu here, so let's add a line of Stugs, and let's add a line of Marders. Let's get the ships out of there for now. And actually get the aircraft out from there as well. And now we want to move these up ahead of there. Probably in that order. 2 factories on either. We're also gonna take that one to 5x. We're gonna swap over now from the Panzer III to the Panzer IVs. So we can actually go in there and we'll just drop 5 factories. It will end up here in the Panzer IVs instead. And could probably be converting a few of these to start with. Yeah, that seems like a reasonable thing to do. And we probably want to be upgrading these as well. We are going to be using these panzers in another division. So we don't want to upgrade away all of them to Marders. But we do want to kind of give the production a little bit of a boost. Maybe we can do the same thing here. No, with the Stugs. There's not a lot of Panzer IIIFs. So. Okay, so let's get rid of the tanks and the infantry equipment for now. And a big problem here is that we are not producing any capital ships. And let's quickly go in here and select the 1940s heavy ship hull. We will add some batteries to this one and some anti-air. We also want some float plane catapults. And then we want to have the dual purpose secondaries and give us both light attack and light attack and anti-air. Obviously the better fire control. We want to have the best armor and the best engines. So this is a expensive ship design, but it's probably the best battleship that's afloat currently. So this will be the Hindenburg class. This is based on the H39 design. One was actually at its keel laid down, but it never really got any further before it was scrapped. So this is, of course, it's an upgrade because it's from the basic hull there. Let's save the Hindenburg. Let's get rid of this one. And we will build the Hindenburg and the Ludendorff. These will eventually join the high sea fleet. And we want to move them upwards a little bit. We still have some naval experience and we still have some things that we want to fix there. We want to complete this Munich class. And let's just bring them from the destroyers there for now to fill out the Hindenburg there. We don't really need the convoys, so let's do it this way. This was just a kind of overflow measure. We also want to go in here on our submarines. So we've got our Type 9s here. These are the, let's change it to a Type 9C. And we're going to keep with the radars on these ones, because we are using them for spotting as well. So they will have an easier time finding targets and have a little bit further range, since they are based on the cruiser submarines. So let's save that one there. Then we've got the Type 7s. So this is going to be the this is the 41 class, and we will add the snorkels to these ones. This will make them, these are the ones we are using in territories closer to the UK. So the reduction in visibility might actually help them a little bit here. This does reduce detection, but does make them cheaper, so we will make up for it in numbers. Now let's save that one too. And we need to add these to the queue. We added that one, we need to add this one. We will build one last submarine of these, and then we will put them all into the high sea fleet and just put them on mass production. We have a little bit of naval experience left, so let's just quickly make some upgrades here. 31, 41 obviously. We have a little bit of new equipment that we can add to these. Let's add the dual purpose main battery. It'll increase their anti-air and their light attack a little bit. We probably want to just bump this one up as well. I don't think we need to put any fire control systems on these ones. Don't think it's worth the production cost. See, it doesn't even make a difference. Actually, it increases the anti-air and the hit chance. No, we will save this one as is. This obviously has them, yeah, we'll do with just one, that's fine. And get rid of you. There, high sea fleet. They can all go to the same place. And we probably want to design or get a new cruiser hull before we do anything to those. I think it is time, however, we try to upgrade the Scharnhorst class. We'll just make a -41 there. And what we want to do, of course, is upgrade the armaments that we got on her. Fire control, obviously. Let's put a radar on. No, we can't upgrade the engines, unfortunately, or the armor. And I don't think it's worth upgrading the main guns either. It's a very high cost to replace them. This isn't too bad. And we've got the Bismarcks out now, so we can put the Scharnhorsts into dockyards. We don't have the experience for this though, so we'll have to wait a little bit on that. Can we upgrade the Deutschlands instead? I doubt it. This is much we want to upgrade on these. Okay, we will save some Navy experience for that. And let's actually let the clock start running here. We have to see a little bit where these divisions pop out. I think they've got their movement orders prior. Let's move there and let's move. I should probably be able to move that way. And as we find these, we will destroy them, or as they pop through. I did put some orders up for some of our groups that don't have anything to do. And we put our... No, we don't have the garrison orders fully completed yet. I think we have missed one up here too, yeah. So I'm sorry for all that designing. We're soon going to have a little bit more of it, because we've soon got the improved airframes here as well. Okay, so it looks like we've got most of them here. They shouldn't be allowed to move into, but somehow they still are. Don't really get how this works always. Okay, so they're having their... We've got a convoy raid going on down here. Okay, so the question of Yugoslavia pops now. We now stand supreme in Europe. France was long the foundation of stability in southeastern Europe, but now the entire area is up for grabs. We can pull all the nations there in our orbit, with no one left to stop us. It is time to tell the Yugoslavians that they have to make a choice. Either they stand with us, or they will be swept away. Our patience with them is running thin. And we also unlock the small improved airframe. Now we will... Big question is, do we want to go for the heavy machine guns? Or do we want to go for the medium airframes? I think the machine guns are probably more important for us. This will also give us some more options there. A little bit ahead of time on cannons too. So we'll grab those heavy machine guns. Yeah, we've got 2 on industry, that's the important thing here. And just zoom out a little bit, because we do have a few important aircraft to design here. And a few that we want to actually get rid of. So let's actually start with the carrier airframes here. And this is going to be the BF-109T. This is the carrier variant of it. So we're going to have the same armament as we have on our other ones. So we'll have 2 machine guns and a cannon. Could have another thing there. We want to have the best engine we can. And we're going to have some... Don't need anything of that. We're going to have the fuel tanks. And we're going to have the armor plates. And I think that's about it, isn't it? Actually, we probably want to go with 2 cannons on these. Let's have, we've got 2 cowling mounted machine guns and 2 wing root mounted cannons on this one. I think that's fair enough. We obviously don't want to have the ME262 as a 3D image. Let's stick with the BF-109. And we don't want to have the Focke-Wulf there either. Let's stick with the BF-109. Alright, so let's save that one. And we can probably reuse a little bit of this one. Next thing we want to have is... I think it's probably better to make them as naval bombers. I don't think we can have 2, no. And we'll do the same thing there. I don't think dive breaks will help us here. They actually do help us with naval strike. They give us naval targeting. The question is how much naval targeting we have. Yeah, it gives us a lot of naval targeting. So let's put the dive brakes on there, I think. Now this would be the carrier adaptation of the Junkers 87. This is the JU-87C, which was adapted to, it carried both torpedoes and bombs. But for the sake of the game, to be able to actually replace the AR-197s that we've already got. No, Feisler 167s. We want to keep them on the same missions. They have these 3 missions here, the Naval Strike, Port Strike, and the Naval Patrol. And to be able to actually replace them on our carriers, we want to have the same wings. Now we could also add some CAS weapons if we really wanted to, and they could do the close air support as well. We could actually add the rocket rails for that reason, but that led missions that won't be that useful. So we'll just do it this way. It's the kind of simple way. And obviously we don't have any good images for it. Oh yeah, that was the thing with them. So maybe we will go with the CAS weapons then. And that means we need to replace them all manually. No, let's just scrap the dive brakes. No, let's not. Let's do it the proper way. So we'll need to add these in on our carriers manually. I think this is fine. We don't want to add. We could add another. We could actually add some rocket rails to it, couldn't we? Those don't decrease the agility. They don't help with it. They only help with ground attack. So that's a moot point. What we want to have is, of course, the naval strike missions. And we also get close air support and logistics strikes. We can't do port strikes with them, but I think we will survive. Okay, it's done. Don't know where they ended up. No, at the top, of course. So we are done with our carrier airframes. We also want to make something out of our improved airframe. And now, of course, the next thing we're going to design is the Focke-Wulf 190, finally. And this is an air superiority fighter. Let's see if we have anything. No, let's go with the EF-109 here too then. So we are, first of all, we need to soup up its engine to increase its speed massively and also give us our thrust budget. So the Focke-Wulf 190 had quite a lot of guns actually. It had 4 cannons and 2 machine guns, heavy machine guns. We can't really do that with the 3 slots we have. This last slot we're going to put rocket rails on. So we're going to have 4 machine guns and 2 cannons on our variant. That will give it quite a lot. We could actually go with how much more? Yeah, we get a lot more punch out of 2 cannons. So that's unfortunate, but that's the way we'll have to do it now. Production cost on this one is going to be exorbitant, and we're going to be trying to defend or make sure that we don't lose as many of these assets. We're going to have both self-sealing fuel tanks and armor plates, and we're going to put some radio navigation on this one. Something could be made for air-to-air radar with interception and air superiority, but the radio navigation is actually a little bit cheaper and it gives us a better night penalty reduction. So let's go with that one. And the whole point of these, of course, is that they are supposed to be air superiority fighters, but we've got the rocket rails there so we can use them for close air support in contested air zones. And these don't affect agility. So the agility loss we take there is from these cannons. I'm a little bit torn if we should be going with the machine guns instead. That'll up our agility a little bit and speed actually. And lower the production cost. Yeah, let's do that. Let's correct amount of barrels, just the inverse ratio. And we'll replace these with heavy machine guns later on to make up for a little bit of the shortfall. Extra slot here would be nice to have the rocket rail, so it doesn't really work that way for balance reasons. But yeah, this is the Focke-Wulf 190A, 23 air experience, that's fine. So let's decommission that airframe for now. Now we need to put these into production. Let's get rid of all the naval things and only have the aircraft here. The first thing we want to do is we've got a stockpile of these carrier fighters. We will just replace these. I thought we put the... that's weird. We should of course have the Focke-Wulf here. But we had a different picture for it. We had this one, didn't we? I think they're both Focke-Wulfs, aren't they? That one fits better in with the other ones we have. Let's do it that way. And yeah, those are the same. Good. So we want to replace this as the basic carrier airframe. We want to replace this with the BF-109T. These are also very expensive aircraft, but they should be good. And the basic carrier naval bomber airframes, we'll replace those with the Junkers 87Cs. And these ones are called B. Good. Just a double checking. And this will lose a lot of production efficiency. This will lose a little bit. These will automatic reinforce. These won't. That's fine the way it is. For the Focke-Wulfs, we will add another production line. We'll put these above the BF-109Fs. And I think we don't want to remove everything directly. We will remove 10 factories. And we only got the 6 because some of them entered into the tank productions. That's fine, it'll sort itself out. I think we need to do it this way and then close and open and do it that way. We are missing a little bit of materials here, so we need to take height for that. And that should be from our tank production. Oh, we haven't swapped the Panzer IVs out yet, I think. I was thinking the tungsten requirement looked way too low. So let's get the Panzer IV Gs in here as well. There we go, minus 19, that seems a lot more plausible. And let's pop into trade and rectify this. Sweden will help us out with some tungsten. We can be at a slight deficit there, I think. I'm not sure we want to be at a deficit in chromium though. Let's see how that affects us, because that's going to affect the... Actually, it only affects the capital ships, right? We'll have a slightly lower construction speed on the second. We only want one of these two. Let's get everything back in order here. And we've got the... Yeah, we got those already converting. Good. And we might want to add a second factory to these ones, at least temporarily, just to get them kind of working. And we will move the Focke-Wulfs down there and the 109Fs down below. I kind of want to have them in some kind of priority order here. We're going to move these carrier ones down, but this one obviously doesn't need to be that high up. They are practically useless. Because we do want to ramp up production of the Focke-Wulfs quite a lot. Those are going to be the mainstay until we get some jet fighters going. Now we do need to start deciphering someone. So let's pop up here, start deciphering the Soviet Union. Let's actually get some higher deciphering skills. And the question is, do we want to root out a little bit of resistance here maybe? We'd probably need to use 2 operatives for this. Where do we have them? Oh yeah, we got one in Yugoslavia. Get it back soon. Thinking we might want to lower this. Now we want to see if we can't build up an internet network in the Soviet Union. I think that's going to be more useful. Maybe we can pull off a collaboration government there. We do have now you can see where the shortage of how much it affects us. So that's 1 month later. I think that's fine. We'll deal with that shortage. And the tungsten shortage goes into the bisons at the moment, and this affects them quite poorly. Question is, do we want to move the anti-tank guns, because we've already got a surplus of them? Let's put the anti-tank guns down below there. We'll still have a 10%, no, it's actually only 4% reduction here. That's okay. And we've got crap efficiency here anyway, so we've only got 3 factories on this one, so having a 10% reduction while we still need them for reinforcements doesn't feel good. Okay, so where do we have all of our fighters going? Okay, so I did move some of the aircraft up here. Maybe we move these there. And see if we can't do any... No, not port strikes. No, they can't really do anything else. Alright. Well then, we'll stick them there, and they can be doing a close air support in Normandy if needed. We might want to have... Northern France is so large, but we could have another one here in Holland. Close air support. Why do we have them there? I'm thinking we should have, almost another one of the Dornier 17s. We actually do when we use the Cs as well. And we'll do it that way, and they can automatically reinforce. Maybe not. We'll use the Cs and specialize their wing. As these become available, we will get more of them. We put them here in the Benelux on the close air support. If they try naval landing here, we have something to immediately assist. Now we do have some tactical bombers here as well. And these have looks like they have a varying degree of range. So we have the 86s here. Does everyone else have the shorter range? Yes. So the 86s, let's remove close air support. And logistic strikes, what can we do? No, they can do any kind of naval strikes. They probably have a medium airframe. And what can these do? No, they can't do any naval strikes either. Alright then, and not very much use. I can have these in, let's base them a little bit closer there. They can be in northern France on close air support for now. Close air support means that they won't actually fly until they need to. Let's split half of them off here to southern France for close air support. Yeah, that'll be fine. And we just kind of keep these light bombers for now in defensive formations. We can move them up here to the defensive plane or defensive group. I think I wanted them in a separate one. We do it that way, and we can keep them as the paper airplane. Well, they are bombers. No, we'll keep them down there. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Just unpause. Okay, we have... Someone's moved too many aircraft in there. Do we want... Are they going to move them out? No, they're not. Because we don't really have the range to do anything with these. Alright, I guess we could move 100 of these fighters down there. Let's move the close air support down that way too. Now we probably want to bump the speed up a little bit here. So we're going to go on, it's been about 40 minutes now I think, but we're going to go on for a little while longer since there was so much fixing in this episode. Actually get something done. Oh, it looks like we found a carrier down here. Would be nice if we could sink one of them. Yeah, we managed to sink 2 convoys and another convoy here. We found their battleships. We sunk another 5 convoys there, and then we leave. We're constantly hurting the UK. And our war support should be ticking up now. They shouldn't be able to bomb us as much, and our combat casualties will be turning around. The British have And they're actually regaining from their convoys. But we are making a very big dent in their convoys. Okay, so we got a double agent. That could be useful. And the Siam joins the Greater East Asian Co-Prosperity Sphere. It's a hard one. And we captured a... Oh, this is the one that we turned. That was an American agent. Yes, we can get rid of this one. We are producing a whole bunch of outdated equipment. We have lots of convoy raids. Wonder if we are making a naval combat. Oh, here we go. We managed to find and sink to... Well, these must be the Danish ships. They were trapped in here after we captured Denmark. I did put our strike force on patrolling out here because I could see them. Our minesweepers were finding them. That's 2 less capital ships for the allies. Okay, so we've got some units here that need to be dispatched. It shouldn't be any bigger issues. Okay, so we finished the engineer companies. This gives us a little bit of entrenchment. No, that's the dozer blades. And it unlocks the flame tanks. Flame tanks are really powerful because they give this attack bonus in all terrains. But if we look down at the bottom here, we also gain 200% entrenchment, and especially we gain some extra attack and defense in forts. So that's something we want to look at. I think we need to get these signal companies. No, not the signal companies, the logistics companies. They are going to be useful in Russia, of course. Yeah, I think that's doing fine. We are waiting around with all of these for the inevitable war in the Balkans. And doesn't look like they actually are bombing us anymore. Oh yeah, they're helping out in this combat here. That's nice. I didn't think of that. It's obviously exactly on the border. Yeah, we also need to really build up another radar station. So let's max one out here in Normandy. I think that should cover as far out as we can. And it would probably be wise to actually build one up here as well. And pressing Control and Shift to get them up to the top of the queue. Get them out as soon as possible. That'll give us radar coverage as far into Russia as we can. Would probably be helpful to get it down here somewhere as well. But it doesn't look like our allies here have researched it. We do want more factories though. Do we have anywhere with a decent amount of slots? Not really. I probably want to be building in our core territories first. And we want to save space because we are going to need more of these refineries. Maybe these 60% slots aren't very good for that. Okay, so let's build a little bit now. Occupied France is completely full as well. And we're going to get a few more slots soon as well. Let's build them here in Friesland and Weißerems. And let's build up Schleswig-Holstein as well. Let's grab these 60% slots. We do need these factories. We're going to have to solve the rubber shortage in another way. We do have a little bit of anti-air in all of mainland Germany. It would probably be wise to set some anti-air up throughout France as well. We are repairing a lot of things in France too. We need to... fortresses. How are we doing for forts? Because we do need to make sure that we have forts on all the ports, I think. At least for starters. Including Wilhelmshaven and Hamburg. And I think this one is reachable as well. Up here in Denmark or Norway, looks like they all already have Tromsø, and then we won't do anything further up there. We don't really care about the north of Norway. And we do need here in La Rochelle and Nantes there, and Bordeaux already has one. So these are coastal fortresses. And we'll probably want to build more of these later on. Probably want to actually get these in. This should be very, very, very quick. So let's put 2 of them in between each military factory here. And we'll start with our Atlantic wall. That's just to help us with our divisions there. We also probably want to have at least level 1s across the entire border here. We can use we can maybe fix that once we have the let's keep on getting the decryption keys there. Okay, so let's see if we can't make some moves here against Metz. Yeah, that should be fine. I do want to attack with our Panzer divisions. We can award medals here. Siege of Antwerp. Oh, Knight's Cross, Oak Leaves. Let's see if anyone else has some. I do believe we have a couple. Here we have the 2nd Panzer Division, they already have it. 3rd Panzer Division, they need it. And no one else has it. I do believe we can select the there. And Guderian is a combined arms expert at the start. Dietrich will be a Panzer expert. And Rommel can't. These are officer corps roles. Don't think we've got anyone at level 5 yet. 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, yes. I do think we have someone here that can probably get the infantry expert though. Yes. So Kuchler. And Einlichi. And Blaskowicz. And Ernst can't get it. I don't think these have been in any big amount of oh yeah, we need to close all of those out. Let's see if we can't can we move on Mulhouse? Maybe if we support this attack a little bit more. That's not looking very well. I think we probably want to move a bit of our air forces in here. Let's get them in there. And close air support and air superiority. We could probably be training these up a little bit. Experience does make a big difference. We don't have anything better for them to do. They are flying to Alsace-Lorraine. Let's make sure that we have the other ones on exercises there. I'll put these on exercising as well. I think we might want to reinforce this one a little bit more. Let's see if we can push them out there. Should help with the air superiority once that arrives too. Alright, so we have finished Le Mans, Slovenia. The Treaty of Saint-Germain and Reich saw many historic Austrian territories passed out to successor states. With Austria once again united with the German nation, it is time to end these injustices. The historic provinces of Carniola and Styria, which are now known as Slovenia, must be brought home. So this increases world tension by 2. It's already at max, so that doesn't matter at all. So the next thing we want to do, of course, is the anti-Comintern pact. Since we are heading out that way too. We do have a bunch of these divisions here that we can probably get on to the border. Let's get them up there. 14 divisions, yeah. As these close out here, most of them should be moving over. And looks like all the allied divisions here are gone now. And we've got a few that are still coming out from there. Let's see what we have. Rommel is still around here. We probably want to send him over to Africa. Let's see if we can Do it this way, and let's get some planning bonus there as well. And we've got Guderian, he can probably hop over here and help out as well. So Guderian parks his tank divisions there and starts planning towards Mulhouse. So this gives us the war goal on Yugoslavia. But I think that's a little bit late now to start off this war in this episode. So next episode we go after Yugoslavia, and hopefully this will be a little bit easier than France was. But it all depends on being able to cut across here quickly and chop the reinforcements route into Yugoslavia off. Greece, I think, is going to be a nightmare to conquer. Doesn't look like the British have very many troops here just yet, but they will probably arrive there soon as well. And then we've got the whole thing with Africa going on here. Italy's done a very good job on West Africa, but they've run into a brick wall here. So we're going to have to bring Rommel down there and see if we can sort that out. But that'll be for the coming episodes. So thank you very much for watching. Take care and see you next time.